My old man, he kicked me out when I told him that I live this way, I live this way, I live this way, I live this way, I live this way.
Tell us about your album, Lesser Oceans.
It's an album that took a long time, not like in its inception musically or creatively, but there's a lot of moving parts to releasing a record, and we had to get signed, which was difficult in this climate, but I don't know, through kind of like word of mouth and like the right people or whatever, it ended up kind of, we got signed, had to remake the record, you know, because we basically made this like really sad demo, and then Elektra was like, you guys need to like amp this up a little bit, so we did.
Rad. What was your inspiration for the single Arrows?
A Twilight Zone episode, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think at the end, it was an episode where an astronaut woke up isolated on a planet, and he had no idea who he was or why he was there. And then at the end it said, you know, every man is an arrow and he doesn't know where he's gonna fall. And I sort of thought that that's how life is. I mean, you're you and I'm me, and we didn't really have much to say about it, like us right now.
That's rad.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. What was it like getting to work with Macklemore and Ryan Lewis?
It was good. I mean, it was the third time that we've worked together, and they're both old friends. So it was sort of an interesting situation of, you know, knowing someone and seeing them kind of enter a different plane of reality than where you are, but still having like common ground creatively. So I would say it was really easy in that respect. We were just kind of friends, and their situation and my situation, like vastly different, but we had a common ground that was just like we trust each other, so it was easy.
You guys worked together on Heist back in the day, right?
Yeah, but we did a song called Other Side, and I wrote that hook while, you know, a girl was in a shower, like the amount of time it takes a girl to take a shower. So I was like, okay, this is easy. Like something about Ryan's chord movement seemed to really like resonate with me, and like where my like vocal melody instinct would lie. So I kind of knew that we had something good there. The Heist, they called me for 10,000 hours, and they just kind of asked me like, you know, do you know a girl who can sing the hook to this? And I said, yeah, my bass player Lindsay could do it. And I was like, well, you should let me write it. And then they said, well, yeah, maybe. So I just, you know, did a iPhone memo and sent it to them, you know, in the same day.
Wow.
And then I sent it over to my guitar player in Boston. I was in New York at the time. And then he recorded Lindsay on like a SM7 and shot it over to Ryan. He mixed it into the track. And then I think like 6 months later, Thrift Shop came out. And I was like, shit. But I mean, I knew it. I told Lindsay, I was like, you might want to be on this record. Because he sent me Same Love and Thrift Shop like 6 months before the album came out, and I was like, dude, you're gonna change everything.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Who came up with the concept for the Arrows music video? It's really dope. I really love the color and the whole feel of it.
It was definitely a collaborative. I had a lot of, you know, strong aesthetic point of views. Sort of situation where I said, you know, I want my bedroom to be gray and, you know, and say Lesser on the wall subliminally for the album, and, you know, I want to be wearing this. I want the train seats to be, you know, this old, like, you know, vintage Pendleton, like a Portland, Oregon thing. I wanted that. So sort of, we all kind of came together. I mean, I think maybe, you know, I said one scene and then they said another, and it took quite a long time. We were gonna do it outside up at my mother's house, who lives like out in the woods in Washington. And then we were gonna do one set where like I would climb ladders and go through, and like it just kept changing and changing, and we finally all kind of came to an agreement. But I will say, I had a lot to say with my section, and then it's almost like, you know, the Wizard of Oz when she opens the door and it goes to color.
Yeah.
That's how I sort of feel the video is when it goes to Macklemore's part.
Yeah, it's like it's like one story and then another story.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And the whole idea is that, you know, I get shot on the train and I don't die, and then I'm in my room and I have a bandage that a lot of people probably didn't notice, but I'm still alive, you know?
Yeah.
But the final one that my friend shoots me with, that's what kills me. And then we go to Macklemore's story, and then when I appear with the shovel, I'm sort of like a like a ghost or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then at the end, when he dies, then I'm there. And I think we were trying to just say like, I guess like a passing of the torch or something. It's all a little weird, but
no, it was cool. And you know, we see a lot of music videos, and every once in a while you see one and it just kind of like catches you, you know, and then you have to watch it over and over and over again because it's dope. And then I feel like the more you watch it, the more you get out of it. And that's how I felt about that music video.
Appreciate it. It's definitely hard.
And it's a rad song.
Yeah, thanks.
So you just shot a new video for your next single, Sunburns. What can you tell us about that?
Man, it's like really romantic. It's like hyper romantic, almost to the point to where I didn't necessarily like feel uncomfortable, but I had to do a lot of like embracing this like 20, I think she was 20, like model. Okay. You know, and like I'm not a single man, so trying to be honest with her physically and like really like if I'm looking at her, I'm really looking at her and I'm meaning it. So it was kind of an interesting learning curve. It's like how to be sexual and compassionate yet still professional and be like, you know, acting. Right. That's pretty much the video. I mean, it's black and white. It's very like French feeling. Like a film noir or something. Yeah, and it's like it's just super romantic. That's and there's some overlays. There can be some like spawning salmon and some coyotes and just sort of like animals that are a little bit kind of left behind, you know. Right. Yeah. When can we get to see it? I'm not sure. I got an edit of it. I think it's like the first of 4. Okay. I don't know. I have no idea when they plan on launching the single at all. What was it like performing Arrows with Macklemore and Questlove on Jimmy Fallon? Because that was your like TV premiere, right? That was the first time. Sort of. We did Good Morning America that same day in the morning, but that didn't feel like TV to me. Well, probably because I don't watch that show, so I didn't have any sort of like attachment to it. I just felt as if I was, you know, no disrespect, but it didn't. It was a different thing. Jimmy, you probably watch. Yeah, of course. Yeah, The Tonight Show. I mean, that was sort of like something. When I was a kid, I was like, oh, you know, I want to be in a band and be on The Tonight Show. So that's right. It was very emotionally loaded, and my father was there, who I hadn't seen in like a few years, and you know, my lawyer, my accountant, like the entire team of people that kind of helped get me there, and some family and stuff. They were all there. My guitar player's dad was there, so it sort of felt like something that belonged to everyone. Wow. You know what I mean? I felt like I was singing for not, you know, however millions of people. I felt like I was singing for my co-workers and family, and it was interesting to like see my, you know, guitar player's dad cry, and he's like, I haven't seen him cry since my mother died. Wow. I was like, you know, that's heavy, you know, it's like the effect that moments like that can have on your loved ones is like reason enough to even do it. That's rad. It's like not only is it a huge milestone in your life, but like you get to share it with these people that mean a lot. That's rad. If you can give advice to all the aspiring musicians and artists out there that was sort of a successful thing for you, what would that be? Say picture your life as a huge old house with tons and tons of doors, and say you go to the first door, and if it's locked, if you're really looking for something, don't just leave the house, and try to open every door. And if the door doesn't open, you know, try to maybe break one down or go up to the attic or go to the basement. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just kind of if one method stops, find another one. I mean, there's been a million times where I could have quit or whatever, but you know, sometimes you never know. You meet one guy who says, "Oh, my best friend runs a small label." You say, well, "Give him this," and then the guy owns a small label. He gives it to his friend who, you know, he works at the radio, and the guy who works at the radio his wife is a publicist. You know what I mean? It's like you just never know. But if you quit, you know, you'll never get anything. So just keep trying. That's a rad analogy. It's like it makes you visualize, like, it's not just like don't give up, always try. It's like, no, you really have to try over and over again until you get through. Right. Yeah. It's as if you don't keep trying the same way.
Right.
You know, try a different method, because you'll be able to get to it. But first and foremost, is like you have to be good,
right?
Which is sad. If someone says, "Man, what do I do?" and I don't want to be like, "Well, you need to write better songs."
Right.
So that'd probably be number one: write better songs, and then kick the door open after you have a good song.
That makes sense, because you need to have something that is a good, you know, commodity, things that people see as art.
Right. I'm Chris from Fences. You've been watching Bellus TV.